You ever hear of reach for the sky? You just shoot a guy in the back with no warning.
That's right.
Well then, good God Almighty, we have entered indeed into a dark day. You gotta listen to me. I just wanted what you wanted, a little taste of the good life. You win. Man, I fold, I can see it. Greed has hardened your heart, and money's poisoned your soul. I'm out of here! There's nothing as dangerous as large quantities of money. That's why I've always remained an independent contractor and odd job man. I want no part of this.
I just want to hang out. No big deal.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another Toy Review. I'm your host, Chris Peterson, and today we'll be looking at the McFarlane Toys, Christopher Walken. All right, we're gonna do something different. I am gonna make a Kit Bash custom for you because I have never been able to get my hands on a Christopher Walken head that looked this good. So we are just gonna rip this shit open. I have previously opened it to take a look at it, but let's get the pull out. Ugh. All right, let's take that quick look. And this figure is a piece of junk. If you move his arms around, they pop right out. Look at that shit. His arm is out. There it is. It's gone. Let's toss that. And basically, I paid $13 to get myself this Christopher Walken head that we'll be taking a look at. So let's rip this bitch off. I got the head. Now let's take a look at this head sculpt. And I gotta tell you, McFarlane usually misses on these head sculpts. But man, this one is just perfect Christopher Walken. I can't believe my eyes. So my only beef is he's looking pretty fucking old. And I know the dude's old now. But this head sculpt still will support the younger look as soon as I paint his hair. And maybe after we paint the hair, we'll see what the face actually looks like. There's a few things to make it look a little younger. But it really won't matter from afar because you are getting that Christopher Walken vibe. So I'm thinking a little light paint in the hair, maybe bring him back a couple years. We are most certainly gonna have to drill that head out because for my little plan, we are gonna need way more room in there. All right, gang, for this custom Kit Bash, 2 things of brown paint, a lighter color and a darker color. You're gonna need a Marvel Legends Hammerhead because he's built on the bigger suited buck. And we're gonna need this because this comes off a 7-inch figure. Because if we try and use the regular Marvel Legends suited buck, it's just too tiny and the head is just gonna look gigantic on there. So this body should do, and this should be very, very easy. So now that we have all that out of the way, we're gonna have to drill the head peg on this as well, but I'll show you how to do all that in a minute. So my first step is to take the figure out of the box and pop the head off. And basically we're gonna find a drill bit that lines up with the size of this head peg. So I kind of just eyeball this. You never want to go over, you always want to go under. So this is usually how I do it. I take the bit and I usually line it up exactly over the head peg to make sure that I'm not going over and I'm staying within the limit. Because when you attach the head, you want it to fit on there snugly. You don't want it swimming, but if that's your thing, just do it. I use a drill, but most people use Dremels. All you gotta do is just make sure it's on the shortest setting and just go real slow. So what I do is I usually line it up with the original peg and then I just go very slowly and just let it go as slow as possible and then work your way up to it. And by the end, if you went real slow and took your time, you're gonna have something like this. And then usually what I do is I just bring Excalibur in and scrape off all the excess. And then once you get that extra shit out of there, we're gonna try to pop the head on there. Hopefully I got it right on the first time. And let's push that down, make sure we get a good fit, and holy fucking shit, that fits, and the scaling is not bad on the body. So now that we got the hole drilled, that's when you want to paint afterwards. You don't want to paint beforehand, you want to paint after. So let's break out them paints, dog. So the first order of business is I always recommend putting the head on some kind of post so that you don't get paint all over your figures and that the actual head will stay intact while you paint and move it. What I'm using here is just one of the NECA head display units. I always use these for painting. So for me, I always like to go a little lighter and then darken everything. So make sure your paints are really fucking shooken up. And for me, I just dab shit out on, cardboard. I don't have painting trays. I usually don't waste my time with them. And I don't have particular brushes, but when I do hair, I usually use one of these fuckers with just a flat edge. And then basically what I do is I just take a little bit of water and I just mix it in with my acrylic paint just to lighten the load, just the hair. And then I just wipe the shit off until I get a very light layer. And then we're just gonna start putting that shit on there very, very lightly. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go fucking crazy. It's not a fucking race. I usually save the really detailed shit like around the hairline for last, and then I kind of just do the rest of it, and then we'll hit it with like a coat of darker stuff.
Yo, with the G.I. Joes on the block. Hustle with toys, got that Marvel shock. Legends in the stash, Mr. Kick it fresh. Bring you with them all, man, the skills mega blessed. Unboxing artillery, no stress, no mess. Dropping knowledge, man, he always impressed. Grin through the trauma and YouTube wars. Keyboard warriors ain't got nothing on his scores. Yo, church, top shelf, ain't no toy fake. Collecting like a king, giving them a break.
So for a quick base coat, that's not bad. If you see all the fucking slop I left around his hairline, I'll show you how I take that off at the end. Cause I am just a sloppy painting machine, and he's already starting to look a hell of a lot younger. So next up, I'm gonna take my darker brown color, which I got right here. And again, I'm just gonna get a little bit of water. I'm gonna mix just a little bit of water in at the edge. And I'm just gonna spin that shit up just to make like a light wash on the hair for right now. And then if it doesn't work so good, we'll thicken it up. But right away, you just want to get a little bit of the excess off. And that's why I just use cardboard, because now I can control the dip. So I'm gonna do just a little tester back here and see how it starts to come out. And just a little bit of wash just starts to bring shit out. I love it. And I think this might be just a little too thin, so I am gonna thicken this up. So now we got it a little bit thicker, and I like that already. So we're just gonna start spreading that very lightly across the figure. All right, and there he is with the last layers drying right now. And I know you're saying, oh, his skin tone is fucking horrible. What have you done to his hairline? But when that happens, I just use rubbing alcohol with a paintbrush and a few Q-tips, and it usually takes care of the problem. So I just get a little bit on my paintbrush, and I'm gonna go around the edges of the face. You lightly dab it, and then you just take this and follow along. So here I'm doing it again, and you can't do this on normal customs. Like if you've already painted the face and try this, you're fucked. But if you're just changing the hair color, it's very easy, and you don't have to be precise. You could be a little bit sloppy with your painting, and that's basically how I roll. And there we go, he's looking pretty good. I got the hairline cleaned up all nice, so we're gonna let this guy dry for a minute, and then we're gonna get him on his body and we're gonna show him off. And here he is all together. He looks fucking fantastic. We got a little pistol in his hand, so he looks all gangster. And I think this really all works. I think the scaling on the head looks good, and all around, I am completely happy with this. This was a totally easy kit bash. And for size comparison, we have him with the Nick Fury from the 3-pack and this new Iron Man armor. And here we have him with the G.I. Joe Classified Duke in Big Ben. And last up, we have him with the Action Force Bone Collector and Condor. So at the end of the day, and my final thoughts on this figure are, I couldn't be fucking happier. This was a totally easy custom kit bash that could be done in virtually minutes. To get the Christopher Walken head for $14 is amazing, because if I went on eBay or Mercari or anywhere else, I would have been charged 30 plus just for a head. And also, the retro carded hammerhead body, you can get on eBay for under 20 bucks with free shipping. And to be able to score a custom on this caliber for under $30 is amazing. So this is a fucking home run. I am completely happy. I hope you've learned something today. And that's all I got this time, people. I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next review.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical!
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Mega powers in the mic, deadly blight, be the night. Raw dogs rally tight, bark with the street mic. YouTube wrecking crew, yo jerk in the fight. Toy gangs disavowed, reviews cold as ice. Podcast kings, no jest, spitting truth from the crest. Hip hop nights, we quest, fans ride, never rest. Yo jerk, dropping bombs, critics get distressed. Toy gangs flex, disavowed, savage and blessed. Mega powers start to blaze, raw dogs in the frame, barking wild, never stray. We tear down the gray, yo jerk blaze the way, drop reviews all day. Toy gangs disavowed in the bay, they slay. Street tales we recount, haters we surmount. Raw dogs how loud in numbers we count.